It still blows my mind that someone had the audacity to give away my lake. Not sell it. Not ask for permission. Just gift it. Like it was some casserole dish at a family potluck. Let me back up. I live on a 40-acre ranch that's been in my family for 3 generations. About 15 acres of that is taken up by a beautiful spring-fed lake. Stocked with trout and bass. Wood dock. Boathouse. Peaceful as heaven on a windless day. Thing is, my ranch sits next to a newer housing development. Suburban HOA hell. They built the neighborhood after I'd been there for decades. And like most HOAs, they came with rules, drama, and, of course, Karen. Karen Langston. HOA president. Self-appointed guardian of neighborhood aesthetics. The kind of woman who uses phrases like, per my last email, in everyday conversation. She introduced herself the day I was replacing my front fence. You know, she said, it would really improve the community if you went with a white picket style. Matches better. I said, matches what? This is a cattle fence. That was our first interaction. And it only got worse from there. Karen had always eyed my lake. At first it was subtle, asking if the community could borrow it for Easter egg hunts or 4th of July parties. I politely declined. Then it got less subtle, drones flying over. People walking through my fence line to check out the view. Still, I kept it civil. Until the day I came home and found a construction crew at the lake. Installing a floating dock. Brand new. Unfamiliar equipment. Loud generator. I parked and marched down, boots still dusty from a supply run. What the hell are you doing? I asked one of the workers. Guy looked confused. Said he was hired to install a small family dock. Said it was authorized by MS. Langston. I said, Langston doesn't own this property. He shrugged. Showed me the paperwork. And there it was. Parcel 18C, community easement, assigned use to Sylvia Langston. Karen's cousin. She had filed a bogus plat modification claiming my lake as undeveloped HOA green space. Then assigned exclusive recreational use to her cousin for therapy kayaking. It was completely fabricated. A lie so bold it didn't even look real. I kicked the workers off immediately. Told them they were trespassing, which, legally, they were. Within the hour, Karen was at my gate. Fake smile. HOA clipboard in hand. Cousin Sylvia in tow, wearing yoga pants and a smug grin. Karen said, you really could have handled that better. I said, you illegally altered a land record and gave my lake to your cousin. She laughed, and said, oh, don't be dramatic. The board approved it unanimously. You should attend more meetings. I said, I don't belong to your HOA. And she goes, actually, we annexed your parcel in the last charter update. I blinked. You what? She pulled out a printout. Sure enough, they'd filed an amendment to their HOA boundaries, a shady maneuver that tried to rope in non-member parcels under community management for shared natural resource preservation. Total BS. Completely unenforceable. But enough to confuse a rookie cop. Because when I told Karen to leave, again, she refused. When I physically escorted her and Sylvia back to the gate, she called the cops. Said I assaulted her and was threatening her with a weapon, which was just me holding a shovel I'd been using to dig trenches for my irrigation line. Deputies showed up fast. Karen turned on the tears. He pushed me, officer. He screamed at me. He's unstable. Meanwhile, Sylvia is fake crying and clutching her kayaking helmet like a war trophy. Luckily, I had 2 things on my side. Surveillance footage from the dock. Deed records, with every square inch of my property clearly defined. I showed both to the responding deputy. Within 15 minutes, the mood shifted entirely. Cops told Karen she had no legal authority. Told Sylvia to pack up her paddleboard and go home. Then they warned me that HOA disputes can get messy. Yeah, I knew that. But Karen didn't know what I had planned next. Because I wasn't just mad. I was motivated. See, what Karen didn't realize was that 5 years ago, I bought 3 empty parcels along the border of my land. Small ones, about half an acre each, that touched the edge of the HOA's formal boundaries. At the time, I bought them to keep hunters from setting up tree stands too close. But now? Now they were the key. Because those lots? Technically part of the HOA. And as a property owner in the HOA, even with just 1 lot, I was automatically a voting member. I pulled up their bylaws. Turns out, if 60% of voting members signed a dissolution petition, the HOA could be dissolved entirely, assets sold, rules voided, board disbanded. So I started knocking on doors. Turns out, most of the neighborhood hated the HOA. They were tired of being fined for grass height. Tired of Karen's endless rules. Tired of neighborhood audits and mandatory mulch color charts. Within 3 days, I had 42 signatures, out of 61 total properties. Karen tried to block the petition, but the signatures were valid. We called a special vote. Final tally? 44 in favor. 17 against. HOA equals dissolved. Overnight. Karen showed up to the emergency meeting in full meltdown mode. "You can't do this," she screamed. "You're just some outsider rancher." One neighbor replied, "Yeah. One who saved us $400 a year and got rid of your rules." Another added, "Maybe now I can park my damn truck in my own driveway." The vote was filed with the county. HOA dissolved. Karen lost all authority. All standing. The board was disbanded. Their collected fees returned. Their beautification project fund? Liquidated. I bought 2 new trail cameras and a brand new no trespassing sign, with her face on it. As for the lake? Still mine. Still beautiful. Still off limits to kayaking Karens and their freeloading cousins. I heard Karen moved 6 months later. Something about the community falling apart. Good. I went down to the dock that night, sat with a beer, and watched the sunset over my completely independent, completely HOA-free lake. One ripple at a time.